Okay, welcome to the fourth part of this journey to trying to build an mp3 player for this board, this Spresense board. So in the previous days, I tried to implement some of the feature of this mp3 player, and I found that I have to change a little bit my initial idea, because when you plan to do a project for Axter or many other competition, you don't really know. Maybe you have all the information on the hardware and you know what are you really doing, or sometimes you don't really know what you're doing, but you imagine what the board you are trying to use, you will have to use, is capable of. And so I had to change a little bit my mp3 player, since at the beginning I wanted to be able to do to start an mp3, stop an mp3, pause an mp3, and go to the next song, to the next mp3. So this is my initial idea, and to have a screen and to be able to control the current track on the screen. I had some problem with this board because it's new for me, and the other stuff very important is that from what I read on the documentation, the Arduino SDK is not possible to pause an mp3. You can stop it, you can start it, but the audio player, but you can do pause or, for example, seek on the track. I didn't find any way to do it, and so I had to simplify the project a little bit. So this mp3 player will be very basic. So there will be stop, start, and next track. So next track on the file system. So I had to insert as a button, and that's it. So this is currently my board is something like that. I used this pin, so it's exactly this one. One thing I don't like on this board, and I hope that Sony will improve it in the future. It's a very basic thing, but it's so useful to have this information on the board. So I don't really like how is it how the text for the pinout of the board are on the board. It's not really easy to read. You do a lot of mistakes. You waste a lot of time figuring out which is the right pin. And right now there's no explanation also on the side. So you don't have something like this. This is a Yun board. It's an old board they built many some years ago, and as you can see, there's on every pin have his own description on both sides. So I hope Sony, if they decide to go on with this project, put more effort on this kind of information, because it's too useful instead of watching it on the board that is not clear, not exactly easy to find and figuring out immediately what are you connect. So come back to the project. So I inserted one button, and right now it's possible to start and stop an mp3. I don't know if you can hear it because I'm using headphone, but right now is playing the mp3, and if I press the button again, it stops. It doesn't stop immediately, and that's another point of this library. But I would like to show you something more. So, for example, this is a loop, and then press it. Okay, it needs to be improved. So we improve it now. The circuit is just like this. So you have the button, a resistor, and this connection. You will find many of this kind of connection all around the all around the World Wide Web. But another stuff I figure out is it's not possible, at least it doesn't work, and it says something on the console anytime I try to do it. There is a configuration on a switch. You can, when you want to control a switch, you can do you can use this kind of configuration using a digital pin and a resistor. But is it possible usually to use another configuration that is pull-in configuration like that, input pull-up serial? And I tried on the Sony board and it doesn't work. It said there is no support for this. I don't know if it's a firmware limitation, if hardware limitation. Say it doesn't work, and it stopped to work. So let's go back to the code and let's see what I've done right until now. So actually I temporarily removed the potentiometer for the volume. I inserted a variable stop preset, but I will change this side of the code. So in this setup is the basic example. It init the player, and I think it's correct, and it loaded open. It opened this the only file I have on the SD card of the board. Then there is write frame, there is a play, and right now, and I configured the pin 2 as an input because it's a volume. Then they set the volume, and then it start the player. So every time you power up the board, it's play the mp3 and stop, and play the mp3 directly without using movement. So let's remove this. Doesn't need it. And then I have inserted a function that is called check buttons. It reads the first button value from pin 2, and if it's high, and if it's not 0, it's print. It changed the variable. So At the beginning the variable is 0. Okay, and then so the first time you press it, it changed this value to 1. If the variable is 2, it starts the player again. So this line happen every time it's playing something and you press the button. It's going into stop mode, and this is on init on stop it. This is play mode, play again mode. Okay, and then it stop press at 0, so it's possible to stop the audio again. And then it just print something. Okay, and in the main loop there I inserted some code. So if it's stop pressed equals 1, so you have pressed stop, for example, stop mode, it sleep for 1 second and you stop the player, and this 0, it's there is a 3 mode to stop the audio, and this is like immediately, but it's not really immediately, and I don't know why. It's like it takes 1 second, more than 1 second, 2 seconds, something. Okay, it's not, but it's not 0, not 0 time. So this is a slave. Maybe I need to put delay. Let's try with a delay. We will see what will happen if it improves. Okay, so if it's stopped, it's stop pressed 2. If not, it check the buttons. And if stop pressed is 2, so if after I stop the player is stop pressed 2, that was play again. Okay, it return, and in the next iteration it will go on, because when it does like this, is just maybe we don't need it, but we will see later. So the code is not fantastic, but it's not the right time to do optimization. But I would like instead to change the behavior. So what I would like to do right now is to improve the control of the button, because right now if I press the stop button too many times, very with high frequency, okay, the button, and I push it, it start again the mp3 many times, and I don't like the idea. I would like that if you press too quickly, it ignore it. So I will insert a kind of last pressed button variable, and I do it here. And I think so. I think it's a long pressed button, and at the beginning is like this. Let's check on Google. So we need current time milliseconds, since the board is powered on. Let's check it. Okay. Return the number of millisecond passes since the Arduino board began running the current program. This this number will overflow, go back to 0 after 50 days. I think it's enough, 50 days. So it's unsigned long time. So unsigned last preset. And every time we do check buttons, and every time something is changed, really, we save this value. So if last check it, no, last press it, what is last press it button? Last press it button. Unsigned long current time is millis. There's a time dot, no. Okay. So if last pressed button, no, it's if current time is minus last pressed tab is, so it's passed 1 second. We need to wait at least 1 second to proceed. Let's put it here. So every button will be on this code, the button management. So if current time minus last pressed button is now is bigger than 1000, so if I press the button now, maybe let's say it's at the midnight and 1 second, okay, and midnight and 10 seconds, okay, I press the button, and if I pass again in check buttons and it passes just 500 millis, it will be midnight 1 second and 500 millisecond minus the previous one that was just 1 second, and it's 500, so it's not 1000 millisecond, that is 1 second. So we wait at least 1 second between every press, and this should work. And then let's go on. So if first button, blah blah blah. Sorry, I'm checking something new on YouTube. Okay, let's go on. Oh, come on, stupid. Okay, so if is correct, we need to update last pressed button to current time immediately. We don't want to wait to press it again to update it. If it's not, we can ignore it. It should work, but I'm not sure, but it should work. Okay, so let's try immediately this change just to see if at least it works. Ba-bam. But compiling, come on. Compiling, uploading. Come on. Install. Okay, reboot. Finally. Okay, as you can see, there's a here. I press the button. Press the button again. Okay, so let's try to press many times. I'm pressing very fastly. Let's stop it again. Stop it. And it doesn't work. Okay, it works sometimes. Kind of buffering it. Okay. One. No. It seems that sometimes it doesn't work the press, but I don't know if the circuit that is on the breadboard it doesn't work correctly all the time. So let's try to press, 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 press. Something is wrong. It's kind of buffering the press on the button. Very strange behavior. I try to change the button just to be sure. It is not the button that is broken, and maybe it does strange behavior, but it's too strange to be that one. Too much strange. Okay, let's try with another button. What is like? options to reboot. Okay, let's try to see again the code. Maybe I'm missing something. I put the delay here. Let's try to remove it. Okay, and change the variable. Instead of stop pressed, we create a mode variable that is more correct. So our player will be mode will be stop it. So we will have stop it and start it. Playing stop it, playing. Maybe it's a setup mode and it's different values. So at the beginning is it in stop it state. So I would like to start, not to start the mp3 immediately, but start the mp3 once I push the button. So it's in stop it state. And we start a player immediately, but I don't want it to play it immediately. So the setup, it doesn't do nothing. Let's go in the loop. If it's in stopping mode or stop mode, I think it's in state playing, stopping, and stop it. So this is more correct. Call it stop it, stopping. So it's in stop it, in setup. It's kind of setup. Maybe let's call it setup. It's better. These are transitional state. This is a transition state. So let's go here. If mode is equal to stopping, we'll then stop it. And the mode change to setup. I think we don't need it, but we try to remove it for a moment. If not, it go home. And then so check buttons. It said okay. Current time. Last pressed button. if this button is high, so if I press the button, if stop press equals 0, no. If mode equals playing, if it's playing, we stopping. There is an else if its mode is playing, we stop it in the loop. Else if his mode is set up, we can go on. So play again, stop it. And if we play again, we need to seek to the beginning of the file and write the frame and start the player. If it's in setup mode, so this is useful just because we don't want to do anything if it's in not setup mode. So if it's in setup mode, so if mode is set up, we don't need to do. Maybe we can update LCD when we will have one. Maybe if we will have one. Actually, we have two stuff important. One is LCD, so it's to have a screen for this mp3 player. If not, it's like an old iPod Shuffle with just 2 buttons. Or next, I don't remember. It's very easy iPod Shuffle, or so it's a basic iPod Shuffle. Or I would like to make this board to talk with another device and talk with Alexa. So to be able to launch the mp3, to start mp3 player when Alexa is running. Okay, so I would like to say Alexa, start the jukebox, the mp3 player or what else, and it should start the mp3 and nothing else. My original idea was to have something that it's an mp3 player that you bring with you during the day, so you have a dedicated device to have high fidelity music if you like to have something like that. And when you come back home, so there you will have all your music, your favorite music, and when you are at home, you plug this device on a dock, and there it's possible to start mp3 with Alexa. So I have a possibility to be possible to control it with another device, with a smart speaker. So let's go again. We can do stuff here. We will see what we can accomplish. So we compile. Okay, there's error. Mode is playing. Stopping is not declared. Stopping. Stopping. It's okay. There is also a strange character. 302. It means there is a fucking invisible character here somewhere, and it doesn't recognize it. At least it's not the first time I see something like that, so I immediately recognize this kind of problem. Let's go on. Okay, it is okay. Uploading. So when it's finished, we should not hear anything. There's a put play, but it should not really play. Okay. Okay, it's in play, but it's not really play because we commented the line. So I tried to press the button and it started and it's correct. Okay, and it crashed and I don't know why. Let's try to press it again and again. So I introduced some problems, some errors. It's something like okay, as you can see, there's a this should when we press the button, it should print this stuff, this loop again and again. Instead, it's something like we were able to read the first frame of the mp3 since we do it because we do it in the setup. We read just the first part of the mp3 and then we just play it. But so press the first button and we arrive at here and this value was 0. Let's see what is 0 here. So it's in stopping. It's in stopping and it's wrong. We started in setup and in setup if we press this, no, this doesn't. I forgot to change this value. So this stop pressed, remove this, we don't need it more. And so it doesn't stop press it is wrong. When we are in setup, if we press the button, we want to move to playing. We write a frame again. We don't need it again. Maybe this one, or we can remove it from the. It's better. We will remove it from the setup mode. Compiling again, compiling done. Let's try to start it again. Another stuff I would like to have in a future version of this board, the expansion board is not easy to detach from the main board. So I would like to have the main board to be able to be detachable. So after you have done with your project, you can just simply remove it and use it, just a small one. If you have followed my previous videos, maybe you know what I'm talking about. But you see it also in the screenshot of the preview of this video. You will see there is a main board and an expansion board, and in the middle there is the main board. I would like to remove it and use directly the original board without, but I don't know, to connect, for example, the SD card. Okay, let's try to press the button. Doesn't do nothing. I'm pressing it. Okay, sometimes it works. And we stop, press it again, and we press the button, and we press again, and we stop it. Okay, it's very strange. I don't know if it's me, it's the code. Sometimes I press the button, it doesn't work. I don't know if it's the code or it's the connection in the tar loosey connection. But anyway, when I go to a more advanced prototype, I definitely solder all this stuff in a breadboard, in something like that. So if it's a problem with the loosey connection, it will be fixed. If it's not, if it's something about my code or the firmware of the board, it will continue to do the same thing. But I think for today it's enough. I'm really tired again. So hope you learned something and enjoyed this video. The next time we can move in 3 ways. We can implement the possibility to read more files. So once you finish to play a file, you start to play the next one. Or we can move to LCD, but I don't think it to do it. Or we can move to integrate it with Alexa. Maybe if we integrate with Alexa, we will use something like that. It's an old board, a board I bought many years ago. It's got an ESP8266, that is a Wi-Fi board, and it enough to talk with Alexa. So if this Sony board supported the Wi-Fi, I tried to I didn't need to use another device to just talk with Alexa, but my version, or maybe this board, it doesn't have Wi-Fi connection, and so we can do it without this to talk with this device. Let's see in the next video, maybe tomorrow or on Friday, or for sure on Saturday, because on Saturday I will definitely finish the project in some way. So, and I publish it on Napster. So thanks for watching and good night. Bye bye.